What things should people never Google? Anything related to a crime you're about to commit. How to jaywalk. FBI. Open up. Any symptoms you have. Trying to figure out what's wrong with you through Google is the quickest way to freak yourself out. One time I had a terrible headache, and Google told me I had a major brain tumor, brain cancer, and a possible broken fractured skull. Get well soon. There was this band from Indonesia a few years back. I don't know if they're still around. They're a hardcore punk band, and they're named after a song called Under 18 by a classic NYC hardcore band called Warzone, a song about shows being all ages and generally inclusive. My friend was over at my place, and I played them for him. He decided to Google them for more info. He searched Under 18 Indonesian Hardcore on my computer. I'm definitely on a list somewhere because of him. Oh, I have a big list. Run the gauntlet. It's not that bad at first, but it gets bad. Armin Meiwes crime scene photos, no. Bryce Williams video, not that bad, but I don't advise. Ed Gein human art, it's not that bad, just disturbing. Shotgun death bath, don't. Obdulia Sanchez live stream video, not that bad, but the situation is disturbing. Gabriel Kuhn and Daniel Petri, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I advise reading their story only, don't look at the pictures. Nikki Katsura death photographs, don't. Facial degloving injuries, don't, seriously. Stacy Wilson bus crime photos, pretty bad, don't. Body Farm, it's really not that bad at all, plus it's for scientific purposes. Some of y'all gonna Google this, so I even rated which ones ain't that bad and which ones are. I wonder how you know all of this. The knowledge of this cost me a couple of viruses on my phone and a week of no sleep. Injuries involving degloving. My daughter, who is an OBS gynae doctor, managed to deglove a finger a couple of years ago by dropping a heavy door on it. Blood everywhere. Everywhere. We rushed her to A&E and it got regloved. After some more surgery and rehab, she was able to resume her career, including the surgeries that she performs. Jimmy Fallon, I think, had a degloving injury a few years back, and it was the first time I heard of it. I think he recovered fine, but after that I quit wearing rings. Fournier gangrene. I worked in a burn ICU wound care unit. I saw this more than I ever thought. Mostly it was older, diabetic, truck drivers. That is some horrible condition. The Google images are terrifying. Do people just ignore it and let it get to the point of blackened and dissolved flesh? I think I would be immediately to my doctor if I saw even a hint of my penis or scrotum beginning to rot or smell. I assume they must smell terrible, judging by the images? Are these folks usually suffering mentally? It would seem likely? Or why wouldn't you seek immediate help? Feel terrible for anyone who has developed this. What a disease. From the cases I've witnessed, it can start from something as simple as a pimple. The problem is, it happens so incredibly fast. The cases I saw go from a little redness to full-blown gangrene in less than a day. Same with my experience. You would be surprised how fast this can go from, what's that little bump?" to "we are removing your testicular sac and abdominal skin." My first thought was the name of the show you are watching on Netflix, because you get spoilers. Boy, am I an innocent. Google. If you Google, every other person around you will think you are an idiot. If you type Google into Google, you can break the internet. So I support schools doing web security for their kids. One call we got was they had been doing an engineering class, and they actually asked their kids to image search things longer than 6 inches. Yeah, don't Google that unless you have safe search enabled. I always get a kick out of looking at their keyword block list. Some of the shit middle school kids search for is hilarious. Explain more, please. Mostly lots of terrible misspellings of sexual terms. Cyclopia human. I made the mistake after watching Futurama. One of the characters, Leela, only has one eye. But human cyclopia is a lethal birth defect and not the cool sci-fi stuff I expected. Seriously, do not Google it. How does it look? They don't always get one eye. It's more like only one socket develops, and they tried to shove both eyes into it. Degloving. Really? Don't. Yes, I'm an ED nurse, and it still makes me sick. What's worse is if you could Google the smell of gangrene, that's one smell you will never forget. Gangrene is bad, but I think sebaceous material and urine at room temp for 3+ days all tie for terrible smell. In 2008, my first year in insurance litigation, I was investigating a degloving accident. A woman was using some sort of smoothing lathe, and removed a cover in order to see what she was smoothing better. Her sleeve on a baggy shirt tangled in the lathe, pulling her hand in and degloving it from the wrist on down. Full removal of the skin off the hand. Worst photos I ever saw. Harlequin ichthyosis. Harlequin-type ichthyosis is a genetic disorder which results in thickened skin over nearly the entire body at birth. The skin forms large, diamond-shaped plates that are separated by deep cracks. They affect the shape of the eyelids, nose, mouth, and ears, and limit movement of the arms and legs. Restricted movement of the chest can lead to breathing difficulties. These plates fall off over several weeks. Other complications can include premature birth, infection, problems with body temperature, and dehydration. Holy shit, not this one. My god, this made me physically recoil. Try typing mountain chicken. It's not bad or anything, it's just stupid. Who the fuck named a frog mountain chicken? Tukchar massacre Dagestan beheading massacre films. Russian soldiers surrendered to extremist forces hoping to become POWs. Unfortunately, they were deceived and Chechen commander Umar Idil-Sultanov ordered his soldiers to cut the prisoners' throats as revenge for his fallen comrades. You'll get to listen to the cries of young men and their futile efforts to stay alive in these tapes. I heard about this. There was also a familiar incident in Afghanistan, Soviet-Afghan War, where Soviet soldiers were kept as hostages, and as a comeback, the Soviets killed the hostage holders' parents and sent them the parents' genitals or just some organs in general. There's a reason why, very early on in the peace, humans worked out there needs to be some fucking rules when it comes to warfare. Because once that kind of escalation starts, there's basically no end to it. Each horror justifies the next and creates a feedback loop that can last generations. Reddit 50/50. I googled it. It's the first and last time I will Google something that's here. I am so tempted and curious, with absolutely no idea what it may be. It is a sub where the title is two options. It is usually the worst option of the two when you click. Any Pokemon image search was safe off. One year my mom bought some female relatives some nice winter coats, red with black fur trim. She wanted to get matching hand warmers, called muffs, so she googled black muffs. It did not go well. Still a hand warmer. Nice try, FBI. Not today, CIA. Leave me be, KGB. I'm not gay, YMCA. Coprophiliac dwarf women with misshapen tits. Why do you know this? For science, of course. Blue waffles. YouTube Rewind. Two girls, oh who am I kiddin'? Carbuncle. You think you're going to see the cute little blue fox creature from Final Fantasy. You won't. Man, why? I'd rather never knew about this. You just killed Carbuncle for me. Rate of survival when you got cancer? Found out firsthand. Prolapsed rectum. You haven't been truly disturbed until you've seen two girls with massive fake tits rubbing their prolapsed anuses together. There used to be this subreddit called Enough Internet, which was god-awful. There were videos of people dying by chainsaws, toothpicks down dick holes, people cutting off arms. It really changed me. Tub girl. Too bad, feeling lucky, doesn't exist anymore. Loliputin. First off, in the rare case you're using a shared work computer, front desk, production room, lab, etc., you should always Google in incognito mode. That way when other people, like me for example, use the computer that was previously used by my coworker for example, you don't see local abortion clinics as a recent search term when you're trying to find a local pizzeria, for example, and treat that as the reason why you're working the holidays because said coworker is sick, for example. You were looking for delivery, they were looking for takeout. Anything Hong Kong related while in China, you can be arrested. Any fictional character's name, Rule 34. What things should people never Google? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.